Good evening, good morning, good day, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rates. We are in the beautiful, sun-kissed area of Tivat Airport, and we got a little bit of scenery to show off for you as well. We came here last time and completely forgot to show you the airport, and it's really nice. So, ATR flight today, all the way to Malta. This is a long one, folks. It's just almost a long haul for me. So we're going to get off pretty quickly. Make sure your flight plans are loaded. I've got a special guest with me today. It's Dan on Vox. Dan, how you doing?
Good morning. Not too bad, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Getting ready for the holiday. Heading over to the Greek islands in a couple days. So yeah, and I'm not in virtually. I'm actually going there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
It'd be nice to get some time off.
Yeah, I think it's long overdue for sure. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. I can see Night Hockey's on the tarmac with us today, I believe, and so is Johnny Mon. William Kelly's dropped in. How you doing, mate? Of course, I can also see Behind the Skies, who is a new follower. Behind the Skies, welcome. Hope you're going to follow and fly with us today if you can. J-Hog, unfortunately, can't join us. His wife's had an injection to the spine. Ow! Oh! It's like, ugh!
So he's shivering thinking about it.
Yeah. So he's doing the good husband thing, playing nurse today. Give her all our best, J-Hog. It's a horrible thing to go through, and she's lucky that she's got you there to take care of her. So, Johnny Mon says hello, everyone. How you doing, Johnny? And oh no, it's the Guinness guzzler.
Unfortunately, well, no Guinness this morning, but maybe later.
Behind the Sky says, tried and tagged along, couldn't see anyone, so I'm restarting the flight. No worries, mate. We are using the North Europe server, so make sure you're on the right server there. I think something's disappeared, actually. I think we lost Johnny. Don't know what's happened there. Anyway, so we are in the ATR today. Just take a quick tour of that. This is in our Positive Rate livery. Ain't she lovely? And just had a recent update too, which has really made it a lot better. It's improved the EFB, you get live METAR data, which I love, because you don't have to go hunting around for it on a website. It's just right there in the cockpit, so that's always very good. Well, Dan, you've kind of disappeared. Maybe the multiplayer bug has come back. Oh dear. Oh no, there you are. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Good.
Right, so before we do that, though, I wanted to talk about Tivat Airport. So this is... And my controller's not working all of a sudden. Oh, there we go. Tivat Airport, very, very detailed. This is available from Orbx, and I'll just take you around a bit. There's obviously a fuel depot there. Car park, lovely rendering on the there's a service building and the terminal, main terminal. I don't know if you can go inside. It looks like you probably can. Look at that. Isn't that lovely?
It does look really good.
Yeah. Let's maybe get a look at it at night. Let's have a look.
Oh, it's smoking inside. Very nice.
There you go. So that gives you kind of an idea of what it's like at night. Lovely.
Awesome.
Lovely detailing there. Absolutely amazing. Real time. Back to sunny time. Turn that off. Getting a faint echo of my own voice from your end, mate. You don't have me on speaker or something, do you?
No, I'll turn on my volume slightly because I've got a new microphone that's very sensitive.
Okay.
That for you.
No worries. Does anyone know how I can turn on multiplayer mode? It's in your settings Behind the Skies. Just go to, I think it's traffic or something like that. Oz Flight Simmers dropped in. He says, how you doing, Mr. Willy? Hi, Shane. How are you? I'm okay, sir. I'm getting excited because we're heading off to the Greek islands in a couple days. So, yeah, it's proper excitement starting to set in there. We're just having a final look at Tivat. You can see the nice air traffic control tower there. Yeah, lovely detailing. Well worth it. Go check it out on Orbx. There's a link in the show description if you're looking for us. And I can see Nighthawk, and we got pink airplanes today. I don't know what's happening with the rendering.
Sorry, if you don't mind, I'll just briefly mention there that the Tivat airport is discounted currently for because of the FS Expo.
All right.
It's off 40% off at the moment.
40% off, folks. So check it out. If you think you might fly out of Tivat again, well worth it. 40% off, heck of a steal. Go check out from our good friends at Orbx there, who are also at Expo, actually. Sante reached out to me and said, "Are you coming to Texas?" Like, nah, I can't afford it, mate. Yeah, off the med. Yeah, that's right, Shane. Yeah. So really looking forward to it. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I'll just quickly cover the flight plan today. Let's bring that music down just a little bit. It's kind of booming in my back ear. Right. Where are we? Flight plan today is, so yes, as mentioned, we are taking off from Tivat, and we're going to take off from runway 14, which takes us through the hills there. Very nice. Now, the SID actually calls for you to kind of circle back to Tipperary. We're not going to do that, so we're going to get to about here, which is Tango Victor 144, and then we're just going to go direct to Bevis from that, just to cut that time out, because we've got a lot to do. Right, so we're going to make our way down, lovely scenery over the southern part of Italy there as well, towards Malta. And it's pretty straightforward, really. We come in. I think I'm actually intercepting a little bit behind there, and then we're just going to make a right turn into Malta Airport. So there you go.
Sounds good.
So lots of water, lots of scenery. We should get some really nice views over Italy, I think. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
That's how we're going to do it. So I got everything pretty much loaded up in the flight plan. It's really just a matter of starting the engines there. So I'll put the beacons on, seatbelts on, close the doors as well. Take our wheel chocks off, leave the ground power on just for the moment. And we'll start engine 1. After we put the ignition on now. There we go. Oh. Is because you're on Xbox. No, you should be able to see other players on Xbox for behind the skies. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it should be the same between both platforms. I think the only difference that there'll be is model matching. So
mind you,
ATR,
we just had a sim update, so I don't know if that's maybe impacted it. Because I don't know if have you actually received an update for your Xbox yet behind the skies. And then we've got Waste yesterday also. I didn't see my friend. I'm on PC and he's on Xbox. Yeah, so I think maybe that sim update's possibly done something. But Waste, if you're flying with us, maybe behind the skies will see you. So you're not completely alone. Right, so we've got good engine starts on both sides there. Everything's at auto that way. We can take the ground power off, but let's disconnect that up here first. Bring everything on. Turn on the oxygen. Just give a little warning ding for the cabin crew there. We'll turn on our taxi lights because we're pretty much pointed and ready to go. And we're going to swing our way back to runway 14. Dan, I don't know if you want to go first because you're going to beat us anyway by miles. So Might as well see you take off, because I'm never going to see you land. Oh, what are you doing?
Okay, both engines started, lovely.
Something goofy going on here.
Oh, all good?
No, there it goes. I'm having interesting throttle issues, and I don't know why.
Oh, that's not good.
Come on. Yeah, I don't know what's caused that. It's like there's a delay on the
throttles.
Yeah, it's kind of got a life of its own here. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Has that happened before?
No. It hasn't, actually.
That's very strange.
It is. Oh, I know what it is. I had my auto feather jammed on, so I was kind of fighting.
Ah, there you go.
Well, at least we figured out the problem. Okay, hopefully we got power back out there. That's looking a bit healthier. No warning signs. There's always something, eh? There's always something. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna release the brakes here and start swinging around. Everything's clear on that side now, is it? Yeah.
Oh, did you say we're swinging off to the right, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
I'll wait for you. You go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
We'll be civilized. After you,
We
sir.
shall.
Is Dan Notelix? Yes, he is. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm Orbx.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have stated that.
It's all right. Where's your gamer tag come from then, Notelix?
Well, Notlex is just my surname in reverse.
Ah, I think you told me that.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah. It's like
sort of grass.
It's like Drya. That he's the same.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really know what to have for my username, so I just kind of thought I should put my surname in reverse, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. I'll choose that. Well, I am grass cutting a little bit.
All right, I'll wait for you. Johnny says I'm on Xbox and ATR not working right. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't have Xbox, Johnny, unfortunately. Johnny, why don't you? Is there something else you can maybe try? What would be a good one? TBF 930 would work well. You're able to start, but you can't release brakes and throttles. Being goofy, yeah. Sounds like the ATR. Takes even on PC, it takes a bit of configuration. So, ooh, loud. Nighthawk's with us, so.
Hey.
We'll set flaps. William, did you calibrate the throttles? Oh, is that for Johnny? Yeah. Okay, park there for a sec, and then we'll get some nice drone footage of Dan taking off.
That's good.
Oh, Johnny's popped in an Airbus 320. Good choice, sir. Well, there you go. You got someone to fly with you, Dan.
Hey.
All right, Dan, after you.
That's good. Okay.
Not trying to rush you. Oh, what's that come to life? Awesome. Awesome. All right. Ready to go. Behind the skies at. No worries, mate. No worries, mate. Glad you're here. Just enjoy the show. Tell the cabin crew to sit down, buckle up. We gotta set our initial altitude as well. Hang on. That'd be good. Let's go for 6,000. Barrel's already set, so I'm happy with that. Everything else is go. Brakes released. Let's line up. Nighthawk says for the ATR, VIP version is probably set up as a new aircraft. Ah, right, okay. Okay. Cool. Notch. Ramp. Speed's alive. How's the rate? You're up. A little bit of trim. And I think we'll pitch hold right about there. Bring our LNAV in. Now, good thing about pitch hold is it'll hold that pitch, Dan. It's really cool, but it'll still intercept the selected altitude.
Oh, that's good then. So does it trim on its own as well? Like, does it trim for that or?
Yep. It basically, although I just got hit by a massive gust of wind.
Oh god. Yeah,
it seems to have settled now.
To take off.
Yeah. I was doing a bit of ducking and diving there. Right, we'll bring that back to notch. I think our cruise altitude for me is 19,000 today.
Simbrief gave me flight level 370.
Yeah, you'll have a much wider bird's eye view, but I'll see the scenery much better than you will. Because I'll be closer to it.
Did he say that we're going to shortcut it?
Yes, so I'm shortcutting from, if you take a look at my screen there, actually here, let me bring this in. I'm basically getting up to Tango Victor 144 and then just out. I'm not going to do that kind of loop around thing.
Yeah, are you going to go straight to Beavis waypoint?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So far, it says actually.
Yeah, it's good. All right.
So we'll hold our initial 6,000, finish our procedure turns, and then we'll head up to cruise after.
That's good to me.
Now, we can switch this to climb mode. And that just drops the props a bit, makes it a bit quieter for the passengers, which is always appreciated.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention actually, because my missus, she's been on the Aer Lingus one before in Real World from Cork to Southampton.
Right.
And she said that exact same thing. Those props can be very loud
and
noisy.
Yeah. Now I don't have experience with the ATR, but I did a lot of business flying with Flybe on the Dash 8.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I loved flying on them, but yeah, they're really loud. And
See,
actually, I was on a flight where a woman actually complained to the cabin crew. Said, "Well, this airplane's far too loud." She's like, "Well, what do you want me? What do you want me to do about it?" And then, so she's like, "Well, I mean, something needs to be done because it's just far too loud." And I'm pissing myself laughing. I'm like, "Don't fly on a Dash 8."
Yeah. I'll just give her a pair of Defenders.
Yeah. Which, yeah, that's pretty much the answer, isn't it?
Yeah, just let some Defenders.
Actually, it's so simple. It's insanely genius, Dan. Oh, behind the skies, you see us now. Great. That's what I like to hear. Right. Cool. So hopefully, let me just take a look behind us. See is with us in the air. Dan, you'll be off and away there. Oh, I can see Johnny Mon's up.
Will be.
Look at that. Goodbye, Tivat. Thank you very much, Montenegro. Since that sim update, everything just looks a little bit better. I can't really put my finger on it. It just seems really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it still seems as good as ever to me.
Actually, the music in the background seems to uncannily match what we're seeing as well.
Yeah.
I might restart that one. Oh. Oh, I lost it. What a shame.
I really do think Dark has done a good job with the positive rate. They're very, really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's our genius. As Flight Simmer says, sim update didn't really have any visual updates this year. No, I didn't think it did either. I just everything seemed to maybe there's a performance improvement somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I can't quite put my finger on it, but just everything seemed a little bit better. Okay, our final waypoint before we turn en route. So I will set our altitude to 19,000. And Mrs. TPHI17 says, hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Tony Bettle's in there, he says, hi Willie, hi Tony, how you doing mate? Great to see you. Jayhawk says, did you watch the Expo presentation from Microsoft? I did, and we're going to be talking about it today, Jayhawk. Because I've got some thoughts on it, and I'm sure Dan's got some thoughts. So yeah, I'm going to bring up, there's a PowerPoint presentation that they did, and I'm going to show that. I felt a bit sorry for Evan, Shane. Because halfway through it, they were trying to show a video, and George was like, Evan! And Evan came running out. He's like, what's that? I don't have any sound. He's like, they couldn't fix it in the end. Poor Evan. But it was great to see Evan in action. He was a guest on my show on Sky Blue Radio. I've talked to him quite extensively over the years. Absolute lovely guy, and it just looks like everything's really coming together at this expo for him. Absolutely delighted, and it looks like everyone's having a really good time as well. So that's awesome, just awesome. Right, we shall attempt to see if the VNav will take us up now. Now you'll notice too that the VNav drops us to kind of like a climb rate altitude, which should be about 170 if it's done it correct. And we got Billy Gaffney, says, morning all. Hi Billy, how you doing mate? Great to have you on board. Shane says maybe do the 2024 announcement, the 2020 sim putting her best dress on. Well, you know, I really got the sense from Jorg that they still want to make 2020 awesome, but he kind of said what I thought he was going to say, which is they're they're up against a brick wall now. They're in a patch cycle that they can't get out of, and they really want to do new things. And it is a bit of a rebuild. It's exactly what I said, but I don't want to give too much away. We'll get up to cruising altitude, and then I'll bring up the slides and we can talk about that, because it looks like my thoughts were 100% correct, which I'm delighted about. It was a leap of faith on my part. I've been telling everyone, just wait and see, wait to hear what they got to say. And what I heard was really positive, really positive. And I think a lot of people are going to walk away from Expo feeling quite delighted, especially if they get a chance to talk to Jorg about some of the more important questions they have on the sim. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Shane says it was a shame the first few talks were shorter than the allocated time, and you had to fill in on the time. Well, you just do a sing-along, don't you? Kumbaya. All right, everybody, kumbaya. Right now, just people at the back. Kumbaya, my lord.
Have a nice little campfire going as well.
Oh, there's a lot of Texans there. They'll be all about the kumbaya. Anyway, take a quick look behind us. See Johnny up there. Oh no, I thought Dan, you'd be just it'd be a faded memory, but I can still see you off in the distance.
Hey, as long as you can still see me.
Yeah. I love the new tags. I think they look awesome. They're small, easy to read, and it's exactly what you need. Really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you have a a green one before? You see green.
I did,
on your
yeah.
screen?
Actually, I don't. Now that I think about it, I do have Flow Pro installed. Maybe Flow Pro's done this.
Oh, good luck, yeah.
But it looks good. I quite like it. Behind the Sky says, what are you guys' call signs? Trying to see if I can see it. Well, my call sign's really complicated. Behind the Skies, in the sim, I'm Willy Canuck.
If mine comes as well, it should be on the Papa Romeo 75 Echo mic.
Yeah, that's it.
Which I try to match your call signs close to positive rate if I can. So Papa Romeo positive rate.
Fair enough. Shane says, to be honest, in my opinion, the first few were pretty. So I haven't seen them all, Shane, but I'll take your word for it. Pretty lackluster, considering they had the room for 20 minutes. You need to bring your best game in this situation. You do. You do, actually. I'm quite surprised at that. My only limited defense for them might be this is probably the first time they've done a proper expo. Because was there an expo last year? I don't recall if there was. But with COVID and everything, I think everyone is probably not on their A game. But hopefully they should be next year. But yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna book a slot for 20 minutes and take potential time away from other people. Oh, Jay. Jayhawk coming in with a £5 donation. Jayhawk, thank you so much. I'm really sorry that you can't fly with us today and that your wife is poorly, but absolutely magic, mate. I really appreciate it. This one's for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant, Jayhawk. Thanks for that. You always get a kick out of that, Dan, don't you?
I just see you spin around like that. I was like, how did he not get dizzy?
Oh, man. These silly things come into my brain, and I think I just got to do it. Oh, awesome. Jayhawk says, I put the donation on Save the Dance for Manchester. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be able to see it in person. It might scar you for life.
Oh.
Shane, no, Shane, it's fine. I've got the online subscription, so I'm going to be spending today. I do want to try and catch the panel, content creators panel live, because I'm really wanting to see Two-Tone and Brandon, Pilot Stud, are going to be on the panel. So it's really cool. Always great to see friends representing, if you know what I'm saying, representing at the major expo of the world. So it's really, really cool. And Two-Tone, he's just, you know, Two-Tone, he's a walking presence. He's the kind of guy that walks in the room and everyone starts laughing. They don't even know what they're laughing at. You know, he's just one of these guys. He's absolutely brilliant. I think he'll be really well received in Texas. I'm just keeping an eye on that VNAV. The VNAV, it's not the most reliable of things. I have set the cruise altitude, but I'm just going to keep an eye on it to make sure that it actually properly selects that altitude. But it should do.
Yeah.
It should do.
Something I have noticed with my 7.3, I've just had to cheat a little and add a little bit more fuel because it's drinking fuel like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, winds can play a factor as well, can't they? So
yeah.
The ATR for this route, because it's such a long one, I had to drop the passenger count, or we ain't gonna make it otherwise. I was kidding.
Well, I'd say in fairness for me, my engines are almost going at 100% M1, so.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Are you fully loaded?
Bear with me. I'll find out. I think I took 130 passengers. I think.
Oh, Johnny Mon is blasted right past me now. He's catching.
132 I took.
Yeah, he's catching up to you now, Dan.
Hey, I'll give it that from.
Nighthawk's behind me though. He's already at his cruise altitude, cheeky bugger. Nighthawk says my autopilot just sent me into a 360 turn.
That's
Nighthawk, that's happened to me as well. It's happened to me as well. I was doing something. I was doing a flight. I think I was getting ready to line up at the airport, and I get something really wacky. I can't remember, but the plane started like banking hard. I'm like, You know, it's like, I hope that doesn't happen on stream. But it was because of something I did. It wasn't just a random thing. I realized what I'd done after.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely taking its time to get us up there, that's for sure. Let everyone admire the paint job.
This is a really good paint job. Yeah, good job.
I think Dark Fury was trying to tap the Canadian spirit in me. Oh, behind the skies, mayday! I have cabin depressurization. Been there. I've done it on stream. Killed all my passengers.
Everyone suffered an unfortunate death.
Tons of alarms going off. You have your got a altitude set. What are you flying behind the skies? Is it the 737? You need to have your altitude set, and you have to have your packs on. Past mistakes brought to you by Willy Canuck. Yeah. Well, it's good for a laugh if nothing else.
Yeah.
Now, we had runway 31. I'm just checking the METAR at Malta. 320, yeah, so it looks like our runway is still going to be okay for the moment, but we'll check it again in the future.
Lovely.
There you go, Pax, that's what I forgot. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all done it. There is a altitude horn silence button on the overhead panel as well. I think it says alt horn. If you click that, it'll go off. It's basically just telling you that your passengers are dead, but if you don't care, you can turn that alarm off, so that's good. Oh, and he's having all sorts of problems.
I've just reached my top of climb.
Yeah, you can see that. Johnny's still climbing by the looks of it. No, he's leveled off. Interesting. 2339's behind us, but I don't know if they have anything to do with us. I can see Nighthawk, who's actually quite close to me, which is cool. but he's already at his cruise speed. I'm still climbing, so
Yeah.
I think what I might do is just nudge the airplane up a bit quicker. Get up there. Get up there. The sooner we do that, the sooner we can yeah. Take it to ramp. Alright. There was a reason then. VNAF was trying to save my life. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to stall at this point. I think that would be a bit embarrassing.
Definitely would. What's that flashing thing got in your FMA there?
It's a speed warning. I was bringing the nose up too much in the because I've got climb management mode for the engines, which drops the performance to keep them quiet.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could correct it by putting back to takeoff power, but there's no need. I just need to drop the nose, not crash the plane.
No.
Once it gets out of the danger threshold, if I zoom in, you'll see there's like a warning threshold there. So the speed is increasing, so as soon as it pops out, that well, I can actually see the annunciations come off, so it's fine. We're okay.
Oh, yeah, I can see you're flying dangerously close.
We will survive.
Yeah. It'll be grand.
Sound like Kevin. Chief Pilot Inspector says, good evening all. Hello, Chief Pilot, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream. We're going not so high and slow in an ATR on the way to Malta. See if I can... Oh, I think there's Nighthawk. Just starting to overtake me, but I think once I get up to 19 and settle in to cruise, we should be able to keep up with them. Come on. Oh, I'm so impatient.
So how exactly does the ATR like get its power and stuff? Like I have no knowledge of it. Like, does it use the propellers or does it use thrust, or I'm not sure how this works.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
So how exactly does the ATR work? Like in terms of like its power, does it use propeller? Does like
it's
for power does it use thrust? Or...
It's a jet engine.
Ah, jet engine.
2 jet engines. So they're jet turbines, but they rather than drive a what do you call it? A bypass fan, it drives the propellers, so it's got a gear to the propellers. Apart from that, it works pretty much the same way. It'll drive bleed air, hydraulics, etc.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like behind this guy's has got all the engine or the failures turned on.
Oh dear, fire engine 1. That's not good. Have
Right.
those extinguishers ready.
I've now hit cruise, and we're slowly increasing speed, so I should be able to keep up pace with Nighthawk anyway. And
Will I slow down for you?
It's up to you. I mean, you guys could always land and then take off again, and then kind of buzz around me as I'm coming in. It's up to
I'll
you.
try and slow down a little bit.
Shane, yeah, there you go. Dan has a gearbox for the props. Yeah.
Oh, you use the gearbox.
Yeah.
Because say when I first ever looked at the ATR, it looked to me like it was just like a big version of something like a something like a little Cessna or 72, but with just like 2 engines. So I was like, oh, it's just these like traditional prop system, but I never knew it uses like a turbine engine as well.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely turbine engines. Dash 8 is similar. That's why there's a mode in this called hotel mode, which I can't get working properly in the ATA bar. I'm probably doing something wrong. but you can actually start the engines without the props moving.
Oh.
And so you can start the engines up and generate all your power and whatnot, but if you're in hotel mode, which means your prop brakes are on, the props don't spin. You can choose when they spin.
Oh, okay, that sounds handy.
So, which probably better explains the relationship between the engine itself and the props.
Yeah.
Shade says, "Are you behaving yourself, Chief Pilot?" Oh, the livery looks great. Yeah, that's Curdy of Paintgenix, or Dark Fury is better known. He's our in-house livery designer, and yeah, we decided to go for a block color because typically turboprops are often painted in block colors. They don't really have elaborate schemes. They tend to be like all one color, either white or I've seen purple, blue. I think LMMLs are all blue. Flyby used to have all purple. So red is one of our brand colors in positive rates, so we decided to go for an all red plane. But as you can see, Dark left the wings white for me because I'm Canadian. So I'm basically a flying flag. Anyway, do you want to talk about this this press briefing?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I've found the slide, and I'll just pop it up on the screen. Hopefully everyone can see that. So this was kind of explaining why they're bringing out a new version of Flight Simulator. Needed to continue to grow. As I said, I thought they were in a patch cycle. They want to get out of it, so they were limited by the way architecture pieces of how 2020 was built, and which is fine because that was the first time a Sobo had ever tried to do a flight sim, right? So this is how it's kind of come to that. The really interesting thing is, if I'm understanding this correctly, all the world updates that we've had on Flight Sim, which are filling up our hard drives, in 2024, they're gone. Don't get those anymore.
Okay, well that's beneficial.
Right? Now, you could still get scenery, you'd still have airports, and you would down that load and store that locally. So that's still, if people want to do that and have lots of hard drive space, that's still an option. But the world updates and all the world scenery no longer will be you don't need to download that, all of it, to your hard drive, right? So what they're actually doing is, the way that George described is they're going to make it more of a thin client, which means that a lot more of that scenery is going to be sitting in the cloud. So as you're flying around, it means your cache, the cache that we currently use, the rolling cache, is going to become a much more important piece of the sim. And as you fly around, it will pull down what it needs to give you all the detail, which it kind of does now already. The difference is when they were doing the updates, the world updates, they rather than update the telemetry in the cloud, they were just giving everyone the data to download onto their PC. So they're going to merge all that now, and it's just going to be one piece, and that's really good news for people that have limited hard drive space. And then that leads to the next point, so it'll be a reduced footprint and less internet usage. Now this one's interesting to me. It's almost like a magic trick. How are they pushing more into the cloud yet reducing the amount of internet they need? They may have found a way to really streamline the packet sizes of that stream, that scenery that's downloading. So we'll have to wait and see and find out how that works. But so far, very encouraging stuff.
Yeah, no, it does seem plausible. My only concern with that is that I know many people, especially a few of us, have had problems with downloading packages from Microsoft down to our devices. So say, for example, you download marketplace content, sometimes it goes very, very, very slow, almost like dial-up in some situations. So my question would be would they be upgrading their back end to be able to keep up with the demand of the constant streaming, because it can be slow. It has times when it goes slow, but then it goes very fast. So.
Excellent question, and my answer is they have to. right?
Absolutely.
I suspect their answer would be yes, absolutely. We're going to invest a lot more in Azure. In a way, I think it's checks and balances, because if they and Shane nailed it, you don't download world updates; they just update the cloud.
Yeah.
So the updates that actually happen on cloud side, nothing you need to download. It's literally the next day you fly, you're benefiting from the updated scenery. Now, does that mean you might have to reset your rolling cache? Possibly. If you're flying in the same place that you were yesterday and it's been changed, how that's going to be managed, I don't know. They might, maybe the sim will force an update to the rolling cache, or maybe it's just a maintenance thing that we're going to have to keep on top of. I'm not sure. I'm sure that the Asobo's looking at this and thinking how this is going to impact the consumer experience.
Yeah.
Shane says, George has found the source code to fold space and time, hence the last bath with. William Kelly says, more downloading of world update data and reduced internet usage definitely seems to conflict. It does a bit, but again, until we get more detail, I think it comes down to packet optimization, right? And how that data is pulled down. But the cache, the rolling cache, is going to be a much, much larger piece of data held on your hard drive than it has been traditionally, but then you're not going to have all the other stuff. It's really just going to be the core sim itself and your airplanes and your purchase scenery. That's pretty much how that's going to work. In fact, there's a possibility. Now, I'm really reaching into the theory bin here, Dan. But there's a possibility that some studios may opt to sell you a cloud version of their airport scenery package.
So would that mean rather than having you download it will be based on like their end?
Well, no. So what I think would happen is they would provide that package to Asobo, which would go into the cloud as an optional. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if obviously this would probably have to be managed through the marketplace. That's the only drawback. But if the marketplace detects that you have a license to that enhanced airport, then when it comes to actually downloading off the cloud, this is all theory. I'm not saying this is happening. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the advanced version in the cloud, the Asobo cloud will give you your licensed airport rather than the stock airport that is held for everybody else. Now that could be interesting.
Yes, that can be. Especially if you just have the license for it. Sorry, I'm trying to do some copy as well. So
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'll just regain your thoughts. I'll get to the chat. So, Chief of Pilots says, with the internet being what it is, this will be interesting. Yes. Yeah. So I think there's going to put a lot more pressure on people with bad connections or slow connections. I think the internet connection speed is probably going to be a much more critical thing. However, then possibly you can mitigate that with how large your cache is, etc. So it's not going to download, and the cache is going to be very much a part of it. So it's not going to download everything. But if you're flying into a brand new part of the world, then yeah, absolutely must do that. So how they're going to deal with that? Maybe there might be a way to preload somehow before you're actually booted into the sim. I have no idea. Much similar to the way the Google Maps works, where you can actually preload and store in cache areas of the world rather than having to rely on a 4G connection.
Yeah.
So there's ways and means to do it. How they're going to do it, don't know. It's still very vague on details at the moment. The good point that I really like, though, is this one here. It helps keep them in spec low. That's great news. They are very conscious. A lot of people don't have high-end PCs, and they're looking for a way to give a great experience to people who have a lower spec PC. Now, what do they mean by low spec? I don't know. What I can tell you, there was a lot of candy in there. Let's see if I can find it. This thing about the balloon was really cool too. They were demonstrating the what they call it soft materials.
Mm-hmm.
So this is now rendering in the sim, and they were showing this is how the balloons are going to work. So you can see the balloons inflate or collapse. And actually, this got a round of applause at the presentation as well. I think everyone was really impressed by that.
Yeah,
obviously
it looks very good.
Excellent. Obviously, it's not rendered there, but that that'll change. This was another thing. So they were talking, a lot about how you're going to have a lot more detail in terms of proof ground details. I don't know how that's going to play on performance. 3D tessellate ground materials. Now that could be interesting. It could mean that rather than try and give you a texture, it gets the GPU to do some of that deciphering itself. So it's actually using more GPU instructions to create to do the drawing rather than saying here's exactly what it needs to look like, right?
Yes.
So that could possibly explain a reduction in download traffic if they're using more of the tools available in your kind of modern GPU cards now. Again, I have no idea. We won't know until we get more details. A lot more diversity in trees. This was a nice one. So you're not going to see pine trees in Australia anymore, or not necessarily Australia, but like in tropical areas. You're gonna see a lot more indigenous flora based on the region that you're going to be in. Improved cliffs, that was an interesting too, and I think they said there's a lot of areas that they don't actually have the data to create the cliffs, but they're going to use AI to make the cliffs more realistic. So even though they can't really say what the cliff looks like because they don't have the data, they say, well, but we know there is a cliff there, so AI, can you just give us your best interpretation? And the AI will come in and actually draw it, and I think that's really awesome.
See, that could be possible because there are a lot of good things that AI can do with that. It can closely match a lot of things. So using AI to do it, if you're unable to do it yourself, then you can bring in an AI, say, could you do this? And it probably would do it really well, and could be possibly a lot better than how the developers could do it. So that could be quite plausible.
Yeah, Shane says we have pine trees. Yes, but are all your trees pine trees, Shane? Are all of them pine trees? That's the question. Sorry, I realized there was a bad example when I said it. That's why I kind of switched tracks to tropical country. But yeah, no, fair enough. Of course, you'd have pine trees. Just thinking, think about the animal system. Yeah, well, this is the thing, and so this is where the performance hit's really going to weigh in. There's a lot of candy that they're bringing to it. Chances are I'm going to have to turn most of that off on my current spec PC. Does that really impact me? Not really, because I'm looking for the core sim experience. I don't really care if there's a herd of buffalo running around.
I mean, if you're doing, if you're doing like low altitude flights, like bush flights, and just toying around at low altitudes, then that could be okay.
And don't get me wrong. There's going to be someone out there that's going to post a video on the internet. They're running everything at ultra. They've got the NVIDIA 7900 Ti Plus, whatever the heck it is, and it's all going to be rendering at 4K at 60 frames per second, and I'll look at it and think, wow, that's amazing. But in terms of my hobby, in terms of what I need for simming, I it's great, but I'm not too worried if that's what I got to sacrifice to keep the performance up. And to be fair, I think a lot of the things they're talking about could actually increase performance on the same spec PC, so we'll just have to wait and see. I think that's the short answer.
It could do. It all depends on, say, hobby, what you do as a place. If you're an airline pilot,
exactly.
Or if you just say, or if you like flying around low altitudes and look at sun sort of stuff, grand.
Shade says, I'm happy with the AI cliffs as long as I don't have to call my sim Dave. Yeah. I can't do that, Dave. Or Hall, whatever the movie. No, you're right. It was. It was Dave. Hal. Yeah, Hal. Hal 9000.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
And Hal had a sister as well. Chief Pilot Inspector, I'm going to have to use the power of subliminal messaging to convince my wife to allow me to upgrade my video card so I can benefit from the candy. I have a year. Are you good at groveling, Chief? Like, really good at groveling. Behind the Sky says, I know you're good with PCs, you know, a good enough spec to run most aircraft. In the same piece, it doesn't break the bank. Yeah, that's a good question. Dark might actually have a good idea for you behind the skies. I think for that, maybe post that question in Discord and see if one of the family can come back with some ideas for you.
Yeah.
So Dark's actually onto the storm. So this was really cool. Full seasons. So we do at the moment I do use Rex Aki season. So I've got a dog barking outside. If apologies you hear it.
Yeah, that's what I
yeah. And if I say, can someone shut that dog up? That's probably not going to be good for broadcasting. Anyway, full seasons. So it looks like they are now picking up on what people are looking for. There's going to be a lot more detail in terms of the seasons changing. Aurora Borealis, guys, this is coming back. So this is great. And there's three other members of this household. Do you think one of them would grab that damn dog by now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can hear. Is it a big dog or a small dog?
It's a Labrador.
Oh, I love Labradors.
It's actually small. She's a small Labrador. But she makes up for it in volume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aurora Borealis is back, which is awesome. So, and this is something that was in FSX actually. You can see if you're over the North Atlantic at the right time of year, you can see the Aurora Borealis, certainly in wintertime. So that is really cool to see. I'd imagine we also get the southern hemisphere equivalent as well. Storms. Now, this is interesting. In theory, you do kind of get storms in Flight Simulator 2020 already. What I think this means is they're going to really invest in enhancing what storms look like, whether it's blizzard conditions, a severe rainstorm. That could be pretty cool. It does kind of follow on to my suspicion when I saw the tornado bit, which is the obvious one that everyone's excited about, is that, and George did actually mention in the presentation that they're going to do supercells. So rather than, it's not just going to be tornadoes, folks, you will be able to see hurricanes. You will, and not even just hurricanes, but you'll be able to see the formation of those hurricanes, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be the coolest thing. Rather than just looking distance and just see it's there, or just hurricane, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you say you can see it forming, I think is a really cool bit. Like seeing it all come together gradually, I think that's really cool.
I think it's amazing. So I'm really excited about that. Again, what's this going to do in terms of performance? Not entirely sure. There might, and hopefully there'll be a lot of options in the settings in terms of how that impacts in the sim. But the fact that it's coming is great, and it really does come down to something I've said many times. The only way you can have a truly accurate flight simulator is to have a truly accurate weather model.
Because I think as well, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say hi to Bubba. Bubba's dropped in. Evening, aviators. How you doing, Bubba? We're just talking about the Microsoft presentation, Sobo presentation at FS Expo yesterday. Sorry, go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say another question as well for me would be what effect would that have on the aircraft as well. Say if you were to fly in it, as silly as that would be, but like Joe, if you feel like what sort of effect would that have on the aircraft? Like would it fling you around? Would it sort of knock you to the ground, or would it not do anything? So
yeah,
Joe, that's another interesting question. Like Joe, if they would open that up to like third-party developers, say like if PNBG were to model it, so if you did, it would like do it as if it was real life, or again, do you say if it would just do nothing, or if it's just like a visual effect?
Not sure.
It'll be interesting to know.
But I would like to think that if you fly a Cessna into a tornado, it should, in theory, grab that airplane like a bloody ragdoll and rip it apart.
Yeah, see that's what I'd love to know. Like if it will do that, or if it's just purely a visual effect.
We'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, even if it's a visual effect, I mean, and again, it comes down to reality. Is anyone going to fly into a tornado? No.
Yeah.
Hurricane, yes.
I would imagine, and I'm just just a guess, like whether they would implement an option for whether you could turn actual effects off the jet if you did fly into it. If you can flick an option that turns that off, so you can just like fly around it, or if yeah,
it's hard to say. I'm not entirely sure. Last bit there. Animals, live traffic, improve vehicle traffic, worldwide live traffic. I think I saw a reference. They might be able to include wind effects the day after some spicy takeaway curry. Yeah. Dark says improve traffic, no more Harry Potter cars. I don't know. Not sure. All this, it's all great, but it's all performance hit. This is the candy page as far as I'm concerned. And I'm probably going to turn a lot of this off, just to try and get the best out of the sim. Some people will benefit from it. It's not, it's nice to have live traffic. It's nice to have vehicle traffic. Again, not really core to my experience, but some people may really think this is great. But you will have to have a fairly decent spec to really benefit from it. Good news to bring back TriStar like that. I think that they had that in FSX. And the other one, which I can find it. City update to Texas. That was timely for the expo. This looks good. The I can't remember, was it the Boeing 303? I think they said 307 Stratoliner. That looks really nice.
Oh, that looks old.
And that is who's doing that again? I can't remember. But that looked pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can just one more thing. So they were talking about what's the difference between 2020 and 2024. You're saying it's backwards compatible. Why are you saying that? This is kind of where he was with it. So he said, yes, it all works, but they are bringing in new physics. The new physics engine will be fully backwards compatible. Any add-ons you have will work. However, there can be native enhancements in the game, which and that's a really good example. And what it does is it adds more fluid dynamic points on the airframe to give you an even more accurate example of how that aircraft's going to fly. So this is, you can see the low resolution is what we currently have, and then going to the high resolution. See if we can just get that again. They're also going to give a lot more control. I'll just pause that. Massive performance improvements. Again, they keep touting these messages. If it's all true, very exciting. Now, in that case, performance improvements, we could be talking about aircraft performance. So maybe not so much PC performance, but maybe how the airplane performs. So that can be true.
Yes.
Easy authoring, backwards compatible, gives aircraft creators extreme control so they can do a lot more of the airplane. What he did say was to add these enhancements. So that's 2020. This is 2024. You can see the high resolution. He says to add the enhancements is not hard at all. So in fact, a lot of studios should be able to fairly easily upgrade their existing models. And I use the word upgrade very carefully here. Enhance their existing models to benefit from the higher fluid dynamics and physics. So it all looks really encouraging, and it's giving developers more flexibility, which is great. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't want to talk too much, but this is available to see on YouTube. As you see, you search for Flight Sim Expo 2023. You should be able to see the presentation there. You can watch the whole thing yourself. Lovely guy, George. I've always have a lot of stock in what he says, and I think he's a great leader for Sobo. And it's just a wait and see, guys. So there you go. Back to normal ops here. Yeah, so let's do a quick check. I start to see scenery. I think that was perfect. We seem to talk right over the water. And now we're actually going to get to see something interesting. So I'll take a quick look around. Behind the skies, mate, would you mind having this discussion on Discord? I know you're looking for a better PC, but if you could just keep the conversation on the chat for the stream and for the things that we're talking about, that'd be great. Thanks. Well, I think my battery's running out in the controller.
That's not good.
Yeah, it does this periodically. I usually have a spare one up here, but I don't know.
I am just now descending.
Behind this guy's no worries, mate. Right, so I can't move that camera, so we'll go back to the other one. So I can see Nighthawk's off there. He's actually pulled ahead a bit. No one behind me. And it looks like this is kind of right on the southern point of Italy, so we have crossed the Bitterland there. Hopefully we'll get a nice view as we come up to the next bit. In terms of where we are in the world, not too far actually, about 100. Well, we are. I'm at the max range on the this MFD here, but it's it'll be about 250 miles, I think. So yeah. We'll just keep chugging away. Wish we were going a little bit quicker, but that's alright. Actually, that should be in cruise mode as well. Apart from that, I don't know, I just gotta fly the route. I might actually go grab a drink of water because it's starting to get a bit warm in here.
Yeah, it's quite warm in here for me as well.
William Kelly says, as a programmer, the fact that old code will still work, but you can replace it with brand new code in small chunks is big. It is, but I think, William, it's all about how the new platform deals with the old stuff, right? So, I mean, in terms of what studios do with their cockpit logic and everything, I don't think that any of that really changes. That'll all compile. You're still creating, to use your terms like DLLs or packages to work out the logic of the airplane. I think it's more to do on the physics side, and that's why when they made the original announcement, they said, look, everything will work. Virtually everything will work, they said. And I think the reason they've said that, which is now we're getting a bit more detail, is if you have a native aircraft design for 2024, will that be better? Yes, because it will have more accurate physics, which is really what they're angling at, right? But apart from that, doesn't really change a lot. Apart from one thing they did say is every aircraft will have an EFB by default. Now they could just be talking about their own stock stuff, I think, not about what other studios do. Because I'm sure if they told PMDG you must have an EFB, they might be a bit annoyed by that. Although I know they're working on that. But it looks like they can see that that's the new standard and they're working towards it, which is great. But what they have said is, even if it doesn't support the new physics, and you've got a legacy kind of support in terms of, I've only got 50 points of reference rather than 500, that's fine. I mean, the game can still work out how that plane flies. It's just not going to be as accurate without the additional reference points. But what they have said is, the studios can, if they want, add the extra reference points, and it's not that hard. And I think the words he said is it's fairly easy to do were the words that George used. So what does that mean? What will studios say? Don't know. I think now that studios are actually going to be talking to Sobel 1-on-1 in Texas, we may start hearing things back from the studios now, and that could be quite revealing in terms of what Microsoft is saying versus what the studios think is actually going to happen. We'll find out. Bubba says PMDG's EFB has the gestation period of an elephant. Yeah, 13 months, is it? Shane says, yes, that was their own stock aircraft. Maybe PMDG should use the Asobo EFB. Yeah. Well, I think it's probably something that PMDG's never had to do before. Now everyone's demanding it, and they're like, what? We just build really good aircraft. What do you want that for? But, that's a great thing about competition. It always strives to improve your product. Look at that. We're really getting good views of Italy now. Lots of lovely colors. reds and greens. Nighthawk, you'll be getting a fantastic view of the winter, actually. Oh, Flight Simulator, we love you so much. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Let's look
Absolutely
at
beautiful.
it. I really feel it's had two things. I feel like I can visit the world without going there, but it's also given me drive to want to really see places in real life that I never would have considered. And it's just such a wonderful experience. So for all the talk about 2024, let's just celebrate the fact that we have a fantastic experience in 2020 now.
I think
Go ahead.
I think 2020 is probably like going to be the foundation, and judge if everything what's been said so far is true, then I think it's just going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, I think so. And I had this discussion on Big Jacko's stream, and you know, the thing that I pointed out, which I've said before, is Asobo. They invested in their product. It had a lot of issues initially because it was the first ever time they built it. It was, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's unlike any other Microsoft Flight Simulator that's ever been made. It was a bit of a quantum leap in what they're trying to do, but a lot of it was groundbreaking technology. A lot of it was brand new stuff, and I'm sure William Kelly will appreciate that nuance. You know, when you're developing something brand new, everything's new to you. You try to do the best way you can based on what you know, but you don't know what you don't know until you do.
Yeah.
And now they've been in patch cycle for about 3 years. They've now looked back and they thought, you know, we could have done this differently, we could have done that differently, we could have tightened this up a bit, we could have made that more efficient. And 2024 gives them the opportunity to do that. And having seen the presentation in Texas from Jorg yesterday, it sounds like exactly what I thought is exactly what's happening, which is great. So we just need to give them a little bit of faith, a little bit of breathing room. Ask questions by all means, but you know, they've built a massive community and a massive following on their product. They're not going to try and jeopardize that. They're not out to piss everyone off. They're not out to change any of the experiences that people currently value and think are important for their hobby. All of that will be preserved in spades. All they're trying to do is re-engineer things a bit to make it a bit more efficient, and probably more efficient and cheaper for them to maintain as well.
A wise guy, eh?
Indeed. And makes it more efficient for them as well. And ultimately, you know, they're going to be able to add more of the eye candy, more of the other things that on the current platform they just couldn't do because they're just pushing against the performance limitations of their old code. That's what I think. So
Yeah.
if they can bring in new code, rewrite the stuff that they know now how to make it better, I think we're going to have a fantastic experience, and I think it'll be a better performing on the same spec equipment than 2020.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well that, like, you know, like, we do learn from things, you know, as humans. So
Absolutely.
So
Give me some
yeah,
bubbles,
so
some
like,
real
you know, all we can do
big
is learn.
bubbles.
So learn from previous mistakes.
That's it.
Not saying that there was any mistakes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And Bubba says, you know, when you think about Microsoft is really on a 2-year cycle, 2020 V1, 2021, 22 Game of the Year edition, and 2024 another version. Yeah, sure. Although that was more of a patch cycle initially. So I think what 2024 is now them taking all the lessons learned and really re-engineering the product to make it even better, which is great. And Dark Fury says, do you think PMDG will announce the EFB date later in the... Ooh! There's $1 million question.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I don't think so. I don't think so personally. I'm like Joe. I'm fully aware of why it's taking so long. So I don't
Yeah.
think personally myself. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need it for the experience, right?
You don't.
You don't need it, but
it would be helpful. It would be
helpful.
Yeah, helpful. It's not like, oh, I don't have an EFE, so I guess I'm not
And
flying.
I'll tell you
so.
what, even if all they did was bring out a one-page EFB that did that, Metar.
Yeah.
Just give me that.
Something bare basic.
Give me that.
But
make it so I don't have to go outside the sim to get my weather information, which I currently do.
For me personally, I think the thing I'll be looking forward to the most is a proper takeoff calculator, but that's about it really. So
yeah, for flex and all that. Yeah, I think that would be good too. Behind the Skies doesn't think they will either, so he's siding with you. Dark says we don't need it, but the way aircraft are coded and works better, SimBrief integration is required. Yes, yeah, I do agree with that. And currently, I think I'm just using the SimBrief downloader. It drops a flight, so it's very. The way that you have to load flight plans is very 15 years ago.
Yeah,
really
so
is.
you have to download the file. And
You got download. I mean, it's easy with the SimBrief download. I mean, SimBrief really saves them a bit.
It is. It's one click download. So
yeah, it's a dawdle, right? But it just everybody else is doing a bit slicker. That's the main thing. So
yeah.
Nighthawk says the little SimBrief add-on for Microsoft Toolbar is really good for flight plan weather. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Behind the Skies it says I think they have better projects which they can work on, like the 777. Yeah, sure. I mean that's fair enough, Behind the Skies, but if they let me rephrase my point then. If they bring out the 777 and that doesn't come with a EFB day one, they will get called out for that. They will absolutely get called out for that. They cannot release that 777 without an EFB. Now, if that means they're developing one, assuming that they agree with that logic, then we should see an EFB for the 737 because they'll have already made it as part of their development for the 777. So it all kind of lends to each other that way. And Daniel McGoran's popped in. He says, Hi Daniel, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. By the way, folks, if you're watching, do smash that like button. It really helps us, gets a bit more traffic, a bit more eyes onto the stream. We are trying to grow. It's been slow and steady, and we absolutely appreciate everyone that continues to follow us. But please do hit the like button and subscribe as well. You're always welcome to fly with us. We always have great conversations, and today, fantastic member of the Positive Rate family, Dan, who's been a long-term supporter. Dan, thanks for coming on today, man.
Oh, my pleasure as always. Yeah, it's great to come on for. Yeah, I've always wanted to come for ages, but it's because of my work schedule. When you're streaming, I'm usually at work. So
yeah.
But I'm done for the summer, so
hey,
plenty time.
Magic. I wish I could say I was done for the summer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the temperature in this room is going up quite a lot. So if you see sweat pouring off me, it's not because I'm nervous. It's I'm literally quite warm. It's PC. Decent spec PCs are good for two things: playing games and generating heat.
I used to use my Xbox as a room cooler years ago. A room warmer, sorry.
That's it. Hide the Sky says shorts. That's how I got popular, but hardly anyone turns up to the streams. Yeah, I got to be very careful because I've got a lot of content creator friends who do shorts. It's really trying to cater to the TikTok generation, but I'll be honest with you, I don't care about the TikTok generation. I don't want them to come to my streams because they have the attention span, literally, of a gnat. So if if I'm going to get popular on 30-second, 60-second videos, is that going to drive the type of traffic that I need for what I really enjoy, which is doing the streams or the feature videos, etc. People aren't going to, that's a different kind of audience, and I'm not. I could generate views, I could generate subs. Sure, it probably helps you get over the original monetization hurdle, which we're trying to work towards at the moment. But ultimately, it's not really the type of traffic I want to attract. We like deep thinkers, intelligent, respectful people who enjoy simulation, who enjoy aviation, and like to talk about it and fly together. And that's it. I mean, anybody apart from that's not what we're about. We're not the cocaine of flight simulation. And I can think of a couple presenters that are. And Shane, no, I was not talking about Dave, by the way.
There is a few YouTubers out there who I know that
which we won't name, but
yes, we will not name. I was not going to do it anyway.
Good.
But yes, there have been a few that I've noticed who have tried transitioning into going from full-length videos into the shorts. It worked okay-ish, but they do sometimes get a lot of backlash because not many people do like the shorts.
Yeah.
And some of them kind of all went back to doing like full-length videos, which I can't stand. So the whole shorts thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely know what you mean. And for me, I mean, I see the shorts. I know why guys are doing it. Like I say, a lot of friends are doing it. Behind the Skies thinks it's worthy. That's fine. I mean, that is your preference. And if you think that's going to help your stream, you see a strategic value in doing it, then absolutely do it. I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from doing shorts. I'm just saying it's not something I'm ever going to do because personally, I can't stand them. I don't like watching them. I don't like seeing them come up in my feed. If I don't even like watching them, why the heck am I going to make one? So
yeah,
I'm so far removed from the TikTok generation that to me I just find the whole thing silly, and I just don't see the point of doing it. And I can tell you, Corporate Pilot Dad, he initially kind of experimented on TikTok, and he was getting the views, tons of views, like unbelievable amount of views. But ultimately, he stopped doing videos for TikTok because he realized at the end of the day there was no value to his channel. So I'm learning from lessons past from other friends, other content creators, and I see no reason to make that experiment for myself.
Yeah.
Dark's off to work. Dark, thanks for hanging around, mate. Great to see you. Hopefully you can fly with us soon. Maybe we'll get the multi-leg thing, and like we were talking about, Dark, and then possibly you can at least join us for one of the legs. That might be helpful. So happy to do that. Sorry, Oz Flight Simmer says, not talking about who just walked back in when you said it. What did I miss? Oh no, we're talking about how a lot of people are doing the short kind of TikTok style videos for YouTube now. But I think before we even got into that, we were talking about the type of traffic that I like to attract are kind of deep thinkers, people who like flight simulation, like to have detailed conversations, not people that have a 30-second attention span. And when we were talking about who, we were referencing a content creator who should not be named, who does cater to the utter ridiculous short attention span. 80-90% of his traffic will be children under the age of 15 probably. And I said, no, I'm not talking about Dave. But I think you know who I'm talking about, Shane. Behind the Sky said, you can probably tell I don't have the best attention span for. Well, you're on the stream and you're following the conversation Behind the Skies. Believe me, you're doing a lot better than a lot of people. Chief Pilot Inspector, well, I'm in the wrong place then. Come on. Everyone's beating themselves up. Honest Flight Simmer says a short subscriber don't watch long form content. Yeah, correct. So it's wasted sub if you make long form content. Correct. I see many channels that have a couple of 100k subs due to shorts receive small views on long form. Exactly. And that's not what I want to do, right? I think if all you're trying to do is make money, then probably that's the way to do it. But you have to work so much harder and produce so much more content to get all your little hits and views. We're in the long game. We're doing this because it's a passion. We're doing this because it's a hobby. We want to attract the traffic for that wants to stay with us on the journey, talk with us, chat with us. And I'd rather have 10 people watching who actually want to be here for an extended period of time than 80 people watching 1 second and then a completely different 100 people watching the next second. That is chaos to me. I don't need that.
I know there are some people who have this who go by, I don't know what it is, but like they think that they have to do it because it keeps the algorithm happy. Yeah. So I think by some people they'll think, oh, if I just pump out daily, short content, the algorithm's going to pick it up, and then they're going to land on the homepage on the popular page.
It will pick it up, but probably not for the reason that they really wanted to.
Yeah.
And plus, you don't get a chance to listen to lovely music.
Exactly. You get to hear the lovely music.
This is the one. This sounds kind of very Spanish bistro, doesn't it?
Okay, localizer established.
Oh, you lucky duck! I'm still 160 miles away.
I'm doing a Dark Fury today.
Yeah. Where's the secret hyperjets on this thing?
The secret red button that just like it unfolds into like a transformer and just spins off.
I'll tell you what, mate. I am seriously sweltering. I'm gonna have to get a drink of water, take the green screen down. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Maybe you can entertain the troops on the way. I'll be right back.
No problem. I'm just now established on localizer, so we will be done very shortly. Hope everyone's doing well. Well, team slanted, yeah, he's got his camera skewed. That looks good though. Behind the skies, hope you have a smooth landing. Yeah, see, I'm not in my Ryan today, so hopefully we will have a pretty smooth one. Alright, light slope. We'll go flaps 5, speed checks, flaps 5. 'Oh, hello Steve, nice to see you mate. Hope you're doing well. Radio temperature look. Six 5 knots. Flaps 15, speed checks, flaps 15, gear down. Flaps 30 and VRF. Music reminds me a bit of the Wild West. I can't hear the music because I have the stream muted. Otherwise I'll be hearing myself. It'll be very confusing. It's a shame the camera can't be a mile instead of landing. Right. Landing checklist, engine start, switches continuous, speed brakes armed. Landing gear down, flaps 30, free green, landing checklist complete.
You're sounding very professional there, Dan.
I am, I'm going full pilot. Full pilot off, I have control.
Good landing, mate. What did I miss? Shane says, create the type of content you are passionate about. Myself, I'm passionate about sim development and tech. That's why I make the videos I do, of course. You have to do it for yourself, then others. 100% Shane. I completely agree with you. And if you don't, then how can you be yourself? What's the one thing I always say behind the skies?
Stable.
Be yourself. If you be yourself, then you don't have to remember who you are. If that makes any sense. That's it. That's it. Well done, mate.
Continue.
Stu's just dropped in. He says, where was he? Hi, Willy Canuck. Hi, Shane. Hi, William Kelly. Hi, Stu. How you doing, mate? You keep missing us. I'm looking to my side saying, where's my Stu? Not flying with us today. Glad you were able to tag along at some point, though. That's all right. Brilliant. Right, let's do a quick check here. We are slowly inching closer. Now at the 160 mile mark, so that's a start. Top of descent is coming up around, say about 120 miles or so. I've already got my ILS frequency, so I'll just talk through the approach here for a sec if you guys are interested in that. Which I'm sure you are, because why would you be here otherwise? Right, so we have runway 31. This is an ILS approach. I'm going to take advantage of that. Now, in theory, we would fly K-Core, Rulov, and then intercept Sudox and then straight in. However, just to give myself a little bit more breathing room and opportunity to stabilize the plane, I'm going to actually bypass that. I'm going to fly to Sofor, which gives me about an 11-mile grace period, and then I'll establish on the localizer so that we can begin the glide path to 3,000 feet. So that's our descent platform, 2. It should be relatively straightforward, albeit it is Malta, so you got to keep your wits about you. There's lots of drafts and winds and funny things like that. So yeah, just if you go on the plane, you can see that as well. Sudoc, there's Sudocs. Or so far, yeah, so far. And then to Sudocs, just as I explained. So
No, there's not much space at the... Sorry, there's not much space at the gates, so I'll just park anywhere.
Okay, no worries. I've got the ILS frequency set and back up, so that's ready to go when I need them, so that's great. For now, we just got to fly the top of the descent and then make our way down. You can see Nighthawk still slightly ahead. How far away are you, Nighthawk? How many miles from the airport? Stu says, sorry, it's work call, no worries, mate. How's the new update for the ATR? It's good. It's good. They've really they've given a bit more functionality to the FB, and the really cool thing is that you now get live Meteor information, so you can see. I'll set the barrel pin form. Speaking of which, I don't think that should put that in standard. Oh well, not that it changed much anyway. That's fine. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really tightened up the airplane. It's flying a lot better. The big thing, Stu, is that the thrust reverse now works exactly like all the other airplanes. You don't have to do any kind of dodgy stuff to make that work anymore. It just works, which is great. Because that was really driving me up the wall. It was actually at the point where I had to use the keyboard to do thrust reverse, which is silly. So, but now it does exactly how I've configured for every other airplane I use for thrust reverse. The ATR now does the same thing, which is really cool. Well, speaking of which, I wonder how long that runway is.
It's quite lengthy.
Did you? What did you say, Dan?
It's the same. The runway is quite lengthy. So yeah, plenty
It's
of
quite lengthy. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Don't panic.
No panic at all.
Nighthawk about 155 nautical miles. Okay, so you're pretty close then to each other. That's all right then. Cheers behind the skies. Thanks for that. So, Shane, if you're still watching, is there anything that you picked out, whether it be Microsoft presentation or any of the other ones, anything that's really grabbed your attention? I know you probably got a news video coming out shortly, so I don't want you to give too many spoilers away. Oh, sweltering in here. Oh.
Yeah, it's quite warm today. About 21 degrees centigrade where I am. Well, it's very cloudy outside, so...
I think it's warmer. I think we're about 24 in the valley here.
Oh, God.
So, which means it's about 30, roughly 30, 31 in my room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, behind the sky says I got windows open, fan blowing. Yeah. No, I got both of those and I'm still boiling. 23 degrees where Stu is. Yeah, we're not used to all this nice weather. What the heck's going on? Of course, I can't imagine what it'd be like in London.
Oh, Jesus God, that'd be awful.
It's kind of like going to London in the summer now. It's like hopping into a bowl of people soup.
I'd tell you what would be worse, going on the tube.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be. Oh God, no!
Well,
I can just feel the sweat pouring off of you already.
It kind of happened. I flew into London City a few weeks ago, and it was a really, really warm day, and I was really tired because we'd had a flight delay.
Yeah.
And I got to the airport, and I looked at the DLR, and I'm like, I can't do this. So I ended up getting in a taxi and getting him to drive me the whole way in an air-conditioned car.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Which was lovely, actually. And it took about the same amount of time anyway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Behind the Sky says, I don't like the nice weather. I love the rain and the wetness of the UK. Yeah, well, that's what makes it green. As Flight Simmer says, I just, with all the features they want to implement, you just want all the features they want to implement are polished. In 2020, things like ground service were great, but they improved them, but they just didn't hit the mark. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. It sounds like they're making a lot more use of AI this time, too, so that could manifest in all sorts of ways. Be interesting to see how that works. I mean, it could be if you push off without getting proper direction from the ground marshal, or you drive the airplane too far, maybe the ground marshal just loses it, like grabs a Molotov cocktail and just chucks it at your plane and sets it on fire. AI-driven ground marshals.
Sounds like a nightmare waiting to
Why
happen.
does nobody listen to me?
Oh, hello, Lemon. See you in each other.
Hey, Lemon Wolf, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Over a stretch of water again. Oh, Stu's there. Look, there's Stu.
Oh, hello,
Nice,
Stu.
Hello, Stu. He's quite close, actually.
He sneaks up on you.
Oh, he's a lovely chap, isn't he? He's found a way. He's found a way to join us. Excellent. I think Nighthawk's still over there somewhere. Yeah. Guess both of you guys are on the ground now, eh?
I am, yes.
Okay.
I tried slowing down, but clearly it didn't work.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, top of descent, 90 miles. Slowly but surely. What are we doing for fuel, actually? That's a good question. Wow, 200 and... Well, it doesn't sound like a lot for an ATR, but actually 260 kilos is completely fine.
Yeah.
That's alright. That's why I dare not speed up. It could cause problems for me.
Something I should have asked you actually is what's the fuel consumption like in it? Like, does it eat up a lot of? Does it drink a lot of fuel? Or?
No, they don't. That's the thing. You sacrifice speed for efficiency.
Oh, that's good then.
Which is why they're quite well favored for regional flights, because it takes a little bit longer to get where you're going. So if like an average 50-hour flight for a regional jet would probably take about maybe an hour 15, an hour 20 in a turboprop, but you're consuming far less fuel to do that, and you don't have to rely as much on the airplane being completely loaded to benefit.
Yeah.
So the passenger per mile cost is lower, but then you have upstart airplanes like the C Series, the Airbus 220, which is so efficient that a lot of airlines are now considering or have replaced their turboprops with the Airbus 220.
Oh, very nice.
Because the numbers are so close that it allows them to reduce the complexity of their fleet, and it also gives them flexibility in the airplane, because you can use your A220 regionally. So you could have an A220 fly a regional flight from Edinburgh to London City, and then the next flight it could do would be from London City to New York. It's a very, very flexible airplane. So I think it's really making the case for turboprops a lot harder. But some companies, some airlines are purely regional, so there was no reason why they'd want to get anything other than turboprop. So I think the ATR still has a long life to it. Dash 8, not so convinced. I haven't really seen a lot of any new investment from Canada on the Dash 8. I think at this point they're probably just going to run out their orders and possibly retire the plane. Whereas ATR, I think will continue to exist for a while.
As long as it's like the fuel savings are there, then it's always going to be around. So because it's all about the fuel savings, really. Like, how much fuel you can save, because obviously less fuel means less money spent on fuel. So
yeah, it is. It is a game of numbers at the end of the day. So make the most out of the least, and cater to the market. So for discount airlines, like Flybe was heavily reliant on the Dash 8, and even then their prices were crap.
Yeah.
When they came back, and then they collapsed again, which I don't think they should have been allowed to start anyway. Oh, I just got Shane, I just got a ping from Evan. I said, "Are you having a good time?" And it was like capital, yeah. So Evans, he's the presenter at Flight Sim Expo.
Oh, okay.
The main guy.
Yeah.
So I just figured it out. Right. What were we talking about? I can't remember.
Flyby.
Flyby, yeah.
Yes.
It's Flyby.
Yeah, no, when I woke up the morning to see that they got bailed out, I knew straight away, I was like, it's not going to work. Like, the fact that you went bust the first time and someone's bailed you out, I was like, it's not going to work. It might work for a little bit, which it did, but then it just went again, and I thought, no, that's it. That's the death of Flyby. It's not coming back.
I was really annoyed because I was stranded in Cardiff when Flyby went under the first time. So
you got stranded. Oh, Christ.
I was stranded in Cardiff, so I had to get back from Cardiff to Edinburgh Airport to get my car.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which, luckily, I booked a train ticket ahead of time because the trains were absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
And I left Cardiff at 9:30 in the morning, and I got to Edinburgh Airport at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh my God.
Nighthawk says the short Toronto Waterloo flights are all jet now. Really? Wow. The planes barely reach 10,000, descending fly low over Guelph. Well, that'd be pretty cool to see, but yeah, jets. What kind of jets are they using, Nighthawk? Behind the Sky says the Just Flight A300 for Microsoft Flight Simulator will look incredible, doesn't it? A300. Is Just Flight doing an A300?
Yes, I think I did see somewhere. Let's try to pull up.
All right.
I'm sure I saw it.
Would I get it for free behind the skies? I don't get anything for free, mate. Oz Flight Simulator says, have you seen... Oh, right, so Oz has obviously seen this as well. Very cool. Did Flyby go under again? Yes, they did. They came back and then went under about 6 months later. But I'll give you an example. They were flying to Liverpool. Had business in not Liverpool, sorry, Birmingham. I was flying to Birmingham, so I had a choice between Flyby or EasyJet. And Flyby was coming in at least 30 to 40 quid more expensive, and they were only flying at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No other choices. Whereas EasyJet, I was coming back around, which it was a bit sore one, but I was coming back around 9 o'clock at night was the departure time. So I need to do a full day of work before I came home. So 3 o'clock departure was completely useless to me. So I didn't use them at the time for those two reasons. And yeah, sure enough, off they went again. But they never should have been given the opportunity to start up, because when they did go under for the second time, yet again, they stranded passengers all over the place, and people were having to fight their way to get home on any other means necessary. So yeah, I just think it's just really it's not right, and I think the Civil Aviation Authority really needs to have a think about how they certify these airlines if they're trying to resurrect them. Oh,
yeah.
Is my stream still all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just had a funny blip. I think OBS might have been.
Yeah. I didn't see anything, so.
Okay. Looks like my camera's frozen. That's the only thing. I'm trying to reboot it. OBS is just completely locked up.
Joe, I was going to ask you if it was frozen. The camera view.
Yeah, I just had a really weird blip. Everything on my screens went off and came back on. I don't know if it was a power cut, possibly.
Oh no! I was looking at the way you have the drone on your aircraft right now. I was looking at. I was like, is it not on active pause? But I was just looking at the lands. I was like, oh, he is actually moving.
What's the stream do now?
It's going alright. It's going good.
Looks like pants. Still says 3 frames per second, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. Yeah, everything's all locked.
Oh, it's playing the...
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, there we go.
That's weird. It's like the codec's completely locked up.
Still running okay for me. So.
If I wave my hand, does that not do anything? It's fine now, don't press anything. Okay, so it's just frozen for me then.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to come through. Yeah, it's come through now.
But I can't change scenes or anything, that's the only problem.
Oh, well, you did it a minute ago. Yeah, it's changing scenes now.
Okay, it's just I don't have a live preview then. Don't touch the red button. There's a meme for that.
Yeah, I can say like you.
How weird.
I can say you accidentally played the intro video earlier.
I'm basically completely fine. All right, so it looks like you can see me. I'm moving on the camera. Everything looks normal. I'm panning around the cockpit.
Yep.
Okay. Shane says Microsoft have updated the original Flight Simulator 2000. There you go. Don't push the red button. Yeah, it's weird. So my live preview has locked, but everything else seems to be working. So that's really strange. Yeah. I can't explain that one. Anyway, we'll press on. I'll just need everyone to give me feedback about what's actually happening. Yeah, right, where are we? Top of the sentence getting a little bit closer. Just over 40 miles. So we will drop down to 3,000. Now, I tend not to use the VNav. I don't find it very reliable for descent on this one, Dan.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioning the other night saying about the VNav.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a go, because they have updated it. I'll give it a go and see what it does. But if it's not going down quick enough, I'll just have to take command of it.
Yeah.
And thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me know everything's all right. But just if you look at my live preview, so I can see what you guys are meant to be seeing, it's completely frozen. So as far as I'm concerned, yet if I look at the bottom, it says I'm still transmitting 30 frames per second. It's very odd. But yeah, there was this weird blip. All my screens went black and came back on again. I don't know. It was almost like a power brownout or something.
Yeah, it's
really
strange.
Odd. Yeah. But the sim's okay. That's the main thing. I mean, that's what I'm amazed at, is the sim seems to be operating completely fine.
Someone's still flying and streaming.
Yeah, and I can still see the chat, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Willy, why do you have pink hair now? Oh, you're just taking the piss. You're just trying to wind me up. I don't have pink hair. Well, I do, but I got a hat on. You wouldn't be able to tell that. And just some Aussie gamers popped in. How you doing, Bryce? Great to see you. How are you, mate? How are you? Long time no chat. You still doing your around the world tour, Bryce?
We're just looking at an article that came out 12 hours ago on Flight Simulator, and this got me thinking, because in the past I've got a bit of do I say abuse? I say kind of from people who are non savvy with this kind of stuff, like Flight Sim or just video games in general. Like I used to get kind of ripped on like a few times. Be like, oh yeah, he plays Flight Simulator. He's a bit of a nerd.
Yeah.
And like Joe, it's all nerdy and stupid. And reading this article saying about how Microsoft Flight Simulator has now surpassed 12 million players.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And thinking, someone's there attacking me because I'm you're nerds, Flight Sim, but mate, there's 12 million players worldwide.
Well, I mean, how it's changed for me, because I do bring it up on occasion. But how it's changed for me over the years is before people are like, oh, really, you do that kind of thing, right? Whereas now they actually express a bit of interest in it. Even if they're not simmers, they're like, oh, right, that looks really cool. How does that actually work? And they're actually asking questions about flight simulation, which is completely reverse of what it used to be 10 years ago. So it is now, and it's definitely, this is all thanks to Asobo Microsoft. It's now becoming more of a mainstream pop culture phenomenon.
Definitely.
And I think one of the big reasons for that is Game Pass on Xbox.
Yes, because that's how I started. I had the Game Pass version, and I think it was a year later when I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to buy the actual sim because I use it a lot and I don't want to keep paying out for Game Pass just for Flight Sim. So I just brought it in there, and honestly, it's been one of my best purchases for my PC ever.
Brilliant. And now you get to buy it all over again.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Until next year. €70 have to go out.
That's it. Not that it matters. I mean, well, I guess it's a digital purchase, really. But yeah, we're just catching up on the chat here. Yeah, but Bubba says, I bet he's got pink hair in the cap. Oh yeah, I'm not telling you any of my secrets. Just Some Aussie Gamer says, no more world tour, streaming, working full time on a real life YouTube travel and food. Ah, cool. And trying to open my own food business. Oh, that's fantastic, Bryce. That's really exciting. Simply no time, so just a selection of epic flights around the world. Sounds good to me, mate. Do ping me on Discord. Let me know when these videos go up so I can support you on that. That sounds really awesome. And I always liked, I don't know if you ever saw them, Dan, but Just Some Aussie Gamer used to do this fly and cook series. So you would start a long or medium haul flight, and while the plane was up in the air, he would cook a meal live on camera.
Oh wow!
Because he's a chef. It was
so flying and cooking at the same time.
Yeah,
that's mental.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic.
That is brilliant, but thinking, God, you can't concentrate on both things. Jesus Christ.
But I think that's great news, Bryce. If you're traveling food, I think it's right up your alley. I think you're doing a fantastic job of it. I think you're a great presenter, and I wish you all the best, mate. Oz Flight Simmer says, my wife thinks I'm a nerd more now than before 2020. Wives are always like that. I think my wife, Mrs. Canuck, refers to my hobby as the funny sim thing he does.
Funny sim thing.
Yeah. Johnny says, in that video they mentioned the 12mm reference. They broke it up into 3 categories. I immediately knew I fell under the casual user at the moment. Fair enough. Yeah. As opposed to ridiculously mental hardcore, takes everything seriously user. I'm not one of those. I can tell you that. Behind the Sky says I use CD keys and I got 50 quid instead. Oh right, okay. Well, it's a way to do it. I'm not going to promote that, but yep. If that's worked, that's great. Just so he says, appreciate that, Willy. It was those streams that inspired the real life travel and food. Yeah, I can imagine. But generally, from the support. Don't be silly, mate. Don't be silly, mate. It's always been a pleasure to support you, and I miss the good times we had when you appeared on the show as well on Sky Blue. So thanks for supporting me, mate. Thanks for being here. Right, top of descent is getting closer. So close I can taste it, Dan.
Someone's parked next to me in a positive rate livery. Who's that? I don't know.
I think it might be Johnny Mon.
That could be. I don't have name tags on, so I can't see who it is.
Yeah, I think it's Johnny. He looks like he's in your vicinity. Nighthawk should be inbound soon. He's started his descent already.
Oh, could be him. I say I've just had my flights minimized, so I've not been looking at it.
Yeah, Nighthawk's
probably switch my IP off.
Nighthawk's next to land. I think I'm probably roughly about 15 minutes away now. Hopefully. Right, so let's do some thinking here. Well, left the seatbelts on the whole way. I'm sure the cabin crew let them go for a pee and
Yeah.
Alright. Don't need to alert them on descent, but I will alert them when we get into the final path.
So, did you say you're coming from your initial approach fix is the sofa hold?
Yes.
And go from there. Yes.
Yeah.
I went from Canuck, and I just went straight to the right turn.
Yeah, you took the sensible approach. I'm kind of decided to give myself the extra 11 miles just to stabilize the aircraft.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did what you were meant to do, mate. Okay, I think I can set our. So we want 3,000.
That's look at the behind the skies cover there. I don't have the wife issue yet. Just stay single, mate. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. It'll all come in time. It always does. And we'll switch that to US. And we'll see how quickly VNAV decides to take us down. And everything on the stream is looking stable?
Yep, still good for me.
Okay. And Johnny says, I've landed. Always a great stream. I'm off on a 40-mile bike ride. Oh, wow. Have a great day and night. Johnny, thank you so much for joining us today. Always great to fly with you, and you're a fantastic supporter. Have a brilliant day, mate. Alright, I think we can start our descent now. See what happens. LNAV. Oh, I got LNAV on. Oh, wait a minute. Silly rabbit. Okay.
What do you put?
I switched over to VLS1, but it disengages the LNAV, and VNAV refuses to fly without LNAV. They must be married. She's such a fussy thing. Oh no, she's getting I'm getting a good descent rate, 1,500 feet. That's fine. I'll deal with that. So yeah, maybe, possibly, hopefully. It looks like the VNAV might be working pretty well.
I'd say like Joe, this ATR has come like a nice little way from when it was first released.
It has. They've really worked on it.
It got a lot of stick when it first came out. People complaining that this doesn't work or this is broken or something else. But to its credit, or to their credit rather, it's gotten quite better actually from what I've seen.
It is, and it's fun. It's fun to fly. I really like it. The only thing, it kind of turns into a GA plane when you're landing though, because there's no FADOC, so you do have to kind of watch it with the throttle to make sure you don't stall. But apart from that, it's great. So I tend to approach about 115 knots and then try to pull it down to VREF at the last minute, or VAP.
What would be the landing speeds for that?
Typically around 104, 103.
104. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it is a smaller aircraft. It's got lots of lift as well. So. Gotta love flying into Malta, says just Samazi. Airport is almost the size of the whole island. Yeah. So I've heard. I've not actually flown to Malta in the sim yet. He says you have a lot of throttle issues with the ATR. I think it's possibly configured. If you've updated it, Bryce, I think it's fixed a lot of that, and then it's just a matter of calibration using the EFB. It's working absolutely perfect for me now. I'm quite happy with it. Well, it says I'm on profile, whatever profile it's decided for me anyway. You haven't been in the sim for a week, so yeah, there has literally just been an update, and it's one thing it's really fixed, which is great, is it's fixed the plane now answers to reverse thrust exactly the same way as all the other airplanes, so which is great. Behind the skies, so no, it's not a good time, but after stream, yeah, I'll deal with that after, mate. I'm streaming right now. I'm not going to look at that yet. William Kelly, first flight in tri-motor went well. Oh, right. Starting the engines takes a bit of learning. Is that out already? I didn't realize that. Evo Rockin' Bros in, he says, hi mate, enjoying the ATR. Yeah, I love it. It's good fun. And
the Peaky Blinders have arrived.
Since the update, it's been pretty good. Yeah. Would you say Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, the Peaky Blinders.
All right.
It's good. All right, Steve, mate.
Oh, it's free for the week. All right, I'll have to make a point of downloading it then. I mean, to be fair, I'm not a huge... It's not an airplane that excites me that much, if I'm being honest. But I appreciate the vintage value of it, and it was also featured quite highly in Microsoft 2004 Century of Flight, I believe. I think that was last time I seen the tri-motor in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And it's free. Excellent. I like free. Free's good. Free makes me get
Free's
stuff.
Always good.
Yeah. Slowly but surely we're heading. I think I'll set the barrel here. So I think we're 1014. This is why I went to so far. Just to get me a little breathing space to get this airplane down.
You got a hold there as well, so you can always hold if you need to do something. Speaking of which, actually, does the ATR hold? Like, does it hold properly, or?
I think it does, yes. But I don't think I need to hold. Yeah, it does have a hold in it.
That's good.
But I think I should be all right. Second hand, maybe I won't.
Something I also forgot.
Oh, you know what? Let's do a hold.
Oh yeah, go on.
And yes, I want to overfly it, by the way. Okay, hold is in. There we go.
Lovely stuff.
We'll see what happens. Good way to show it off, actually, if it works well.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that. A good idea.
Oh, TPHI17, how you doing, mate? I didn't see you pop in there. Great to see you. Is there free? Damn, loading up the sim now, says Price. Free stuff! Free! Free! Oh, funny.
Something I was going to mention is... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say TPA, I don't know how I pronounce his name, but he says it's one of those planes I might take a look at. Take a quick flight once in a while. That is exactly how I feel about it, too. Yes. I'd fly it once and be like, okay, I get it. You know, on to the next thing. Some people really are passionate about the vintage aircraft. I mean, Digital Flight Deck is a good example. He really loves vintage stuff. But he's actually flown vintage stuff in real life as well. So
yeah,
it kind of makes sense. All right, VNAV, you're officially retired. All right, tell cabin crew to go buckle up. Well, that's not turning the direction I expected it to.
So, oh, it was done right. It's So we did left-hand turn on.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Don't know what's going on there.
Huh.
Alright.
Could you use a heading to intercept it back again and then
Yes, I could.
re-hold?
Yeah. Yeah, I could. Yeah. I'll do that in a moment. In fact, I might as well do that now. It looks like it's just trying to fly on plan to two ducks.
Yeah. I was trying to intercept that waypoint.
Possibly. Possibly.
We'll see in a second. It's just spinning around to me.
Right, I've intercepted it now anyway, so. Yeah, kind of put the hold in and it seemed to go the opposite direction. It was really weird.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll just do a teardrop. We don't need much more room. We're pretty close to 3,000 now. Just gotta remember to put the throttle back up to notch when I hit level. I forgot that last time and just about stalled the plane.
Oops.
Luckily it was just on a practice run, so.
Yeah.
JustSim Gamer says, DFD is a great bloke, so knowledgeable. Don't know how he doesn't have a following. Yeah, I agree. He is. He's very knowledgeable. Okay, that should buy us the time we need. I think we should be able to go direct to Sodox now.
Lovely stuff. Would you also do you get the luxury of the auto tune in ILS, or do you have to tune that yourself?
No, I don't believe so. You have to set that, so I'm just about to turn that on actually. I've got those set in my auto frequencies.
So
And,
the ILS frequency is 110.5 and should identify as Lima Mike.
Did you say 110? Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah.
Yes. And it's a course of 312 degrees.
Good point. Yep, thanks for that. 312. Oh wait, they're down VLS on it at the moment. Just a minute. Right. Let's get a intercept there. Actually, I'll go wide of Sudox and then pick up the localizer.
Yeah.
And we should be good.
Steve's asking there, did you update the graphics drivers?
Was
you
that
update?
Sorry, mate. Was that 312?
Yes, 312 degrees.
Yeah, there's my forgetting about my speed again. Right, let's change to takeoff power. Takeoff performance, power management. Yeah. And we should be able to put on an intercept here. See if it picks up the localizer. Should do.
If Shane gets a blood test, I swear it'll be 50% coffee. I think mine will be Red Bull.
Yep, there we go. Picking up the localizer now. So we are on radio ILS navigation, which is great. Let's start slowing down a bit.
Something I have to try and do. I am not that great with controlling the drone with a keyboard, so.
Oh yeah, that's
used to.
Get yourself an Xbox controller. You don't need a brand new one. You can get like one from the Xbox One. They work great.
Yeah, I actually I do have one, but the sticks, they suffer from stick drift, so I'm not trying to fix it.
Yeah. I bought a kind of cheapo corded one, which is like an Xbox fake. And that was terrible for stick drift. It ended up becoming unusable.
Yeah.
But you can partly fix that in the controller settings in Flight Sim, though. You can increase the null zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I suppose that makes sense, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Null zone up.
Oz says, I actually drink heaps of water each day, too. I only drink water and coffee, nothing else. So you're 50% coffee and 50% water, is that what you're saying? Oh yeah, this is a big, looks like a big airport, all right. Of course, is this an Air Force base? I think it was, isn't it? Or it is.
I'm not too
British
sure.
base. British base.
Could be. Something I was going to say as well that I completely forgot about was the AAU2 update that came out the other day.
Yeah. Which seems to be pretty good. I mean, I think I'm seeing a marked improvement in the multiplayer anyway. I don't know if that's a coincidence or if something has actually improved.
I'm just really glad that a lot of these systems on the Stamp 4 do work now, compared to the original stock one.
I haven't had a chance to try them yet because there was an improvement for the 787 as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was for both 747-8 and 787-10 or 9.
There you go. Behind the sky says it's actually quite good to fly the 747 now. Cool.
Yeah.
VNav and LNav all works. Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Just on Odyssey Gamer says this is surprisingly honest. Coffee does dehydrate you. Well, that's it. So he's damaging himself with one cup and then rehydrating himself with the other one. Price. That's what he's doing.
I can see that. I can see like some distance.
Shane says, "I'm not getting any younger, and you're certainly not getting any less grumpy." Grumpy old man. Always wind him up about that. Okay, we are approaching the glide scope. I can see it's taking hold of the airplane. So we'll bring out 1 degree of flaps. No, probably didn't like that. I need to slow down a bit more. And we'll get ready to rock and roll here, folks. Now this is where you really got to watch the speed, Dan. So it's there isn't really a sweet spot for approach speed. So you're kind of rotating between idle and low manual thrust.
Yeah.
That's just the only way you can do it, unfortunately. But we'll get there.
Yeah. You'll be fine. I have all faith in you.
Thank you. That's a very nice thing of you to say. 5.5 miles. Alright, should be able to drop those flaps now. There we go. Bring the gear down. It also really floats on landing as well. There's a lot of ground effect.
Oh, does it?
Really floats, yeah.
I suppose that was some excuse me. I think that might be something that would be fixed in the future, possibly.
Well, it could be accurate.
Well, it could be, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, possibly, actually. Who knows?
It does generate a lot of lift, so I'm starting to get low there, so I need to kind of prop up the speed a bit.
Any real-world ATR pilots in the chat?
There's a streamer, actually, that he's a real pilot, and he actually streams stuff from the cockpit a lot. I've been watching him a bit, which is kind of neat.
Well, like streaming, right?
Yeah, ATR pilot, yeah.
That's really cool.
His name escapes me, but I'll try and dig it out and post it in the pub for you guys.
Yeah.
No, but it's really good. Is the scenery still loading? Possibly. Yeah, it's possibly, mate. I'm sure my son's doing something to battle my internet connection as well. I mean, it's caching anyway. I haven't flown here before, so in theory, if I fly again here tomorrow, I'm not going to have the same issues. But it's probably a performance balance as well, to some extent. Okay, looking good on the approach. Starting to get those crosswinds come in now. Okay, I think we'll go manual, because I think if it's going to get like this, I'd rather have control over it than the computer try to figure it out.
Yeah.
A bit of trim action there. Full flaps we are. Gear is extended. In the pipe. High. Bit high.
$500. $200.
Yeah, it's just up and down with the throttle, little by little.
100.
Trying to get that sweet spot to get into VAP.
50. 40. 30.
Okay, we'll stay idle here.
Oh, I can't see on my end.
I think we'll take that. That looks alright. Minus 131 feet per minute. It's not too
Very
bad.
nice. Nice one.
Let's get a bit of reverse thrust there.
Give it a little pat play.
Which way's the terminal? Do I go to the right or the left?
I took the second backside.
Right off the runway.
Yes, right.
Noise, says Chief Inspector.
Very nice.
And I got a butter from Bryce as well. Oh, there's everybody. Excellent. It's little helpful hints like, which way do I get off the runway?
Yeah.
Clear that. Everyone's seen that by now, I'm sure. Turn off the landing lights. Strobe can come off. Just some eyes he gave it. Lurpak spreadable since 1901.
Yeah, but it depends though, because I find my lure pack, if I do get it, it's always hard.
Oh god,
Especially, like, when you
I don't like
as
where
well.
this conversation is going. I really don't. Well, I see what you mean. There's not really any gates per se, is there? It's just kind of...
Your screen. Yeah, yours empty on my screen. But on my one, there's the aircraft backed up.
I was about to go there, he says. Chief, I was about to go there. The freeware scenery you have is really... Oh, I should check that out, Nighthawk. Would you do us a favor? Just post a link to it in the Discord in the pub. We'll,
Oh, there was freeware. I didn't know.
yeah, I didn't have time to look for it. So,
Oh.
and plus there could be more than one, and it's always better to get a referral, because then people can tell you what's good and what's bad. I don't know where everyone. I'm just gonna park with everybody else.
Yeah.
Just up here somewhere. I'll go A-team on you guys. Here we go. Murdoch parking. Yeah, that's probably good as anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Beacon off. Lights, and now we're going to take the feather right down. If it responds. And and feather the stop. Oh, I love the noises on this. It sounds pretty good. It's,
that sounds pretty cool.
Having spent a lot of time on turboprops, I can definitely vouch that it's pretty accurate.
That's good.
Right, well, let us get we'll get some ground power, wheel chocks. Everyone can get off. And bring that ground power on as well. Ding ding. There you go. Thank you, folks. Thank you for flying Positive Rate Airlines. We hope you have a splendid time today.
5-star reviews on Trustpilot.
You got your lunch peanut butter and cheese. Ew! Peanut butter and cheese? Oh, man.
I mean, each to their own.
I eat some weird... Listen, I eat some weird stuff, but man, that's a bridge too far for me. I always get yelled at because I put cheese on my apple pie. Apparently.
Oh, no.
Well, this is a North American thing.
Oh,
Nighthawk, back me up on this. Cheese and apple pie, yes or no? Back me up. Do I have GSX? No, I don't. I might get it soon, but I'm not going to pay the 30 quid they want for it. I'll wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says, Malta airport, freeware no longer available on FlightSim. The creator must have taken it down. Oh dear, what a shame.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Bubba says that is so wrong. Which, or cheese on apple pie, or cheese on peanut butter, or both? TBH17 says, great stream, thank you. Thank you, mate. Thanks for coming along today. Bubba, almost as bad as cheese and Vegemite. Yeah, I wouldn't eat that either. Can I repeat it? Nighthawk, do you agree with apple pie and cheese? Would you have cheese on your apple pie? That's what I wanted to know. Bubba says both. Right, fine. William Kelly, a great stream. Good night. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. And behind the skies, yeah, thanks for the stream. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming along. Don't know if I'll get a response out of Nighthawk. But Dan, awesome chat. Thanks for coming on today and keeping me company through the whole thing. It's just a shame you had to wait for so long for me to show up.
That's all right. It's been very good. It's been
great
nice
flight.
to finally jump on once. Yeah, no, it's been really good.
Good fun, and I think everyone really enjoyed themselves today, which is cool. Dan! Dan! You weren't going to let me get away, were you? Dan, 10 pounds. Dan, thank you so much. Absolutely.
No problem at all.
Awesome, man. Okay, this one's free. If I can find it. Here we go. Much appreciated, Dan. That is another month secured for Streamlabs memes as well, which is really, really cool. So thank you. With all the donations today, it's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. I think J-Hog was in for a donation earlier as well, so thank you, J-Hog. And thanks to everybody on the chat today. It's been absolutely lovely to speak to you all. Huge thanks to Shane and Bryce, also, who are respective content creators. Do search them on YouTube. Shane, in fact, he's approaching the big 90,000. Did you know that?
Oh.
90,000 subs.
90,000.
All this for a grumpy old man. It's crazy.
With 50% coffee in his veins.
Just to keep him awake. Just to keep him moving. No, I absolute fantastic streamer and a great friend of mine as well. So do check out Oz Flight Simmer. And also just a Mozzie Gamer, who has a new channel coming out, and you're going to tell us what it is, Bryce, and we're going to talk and advertise this on our next stream, okay? By the way, folks, no stream next week. I will not be in the country. I'll be in the Greek Islands, and I have no intention of streaming. So if you are wondering why we're not on next week, that is the reason. But we will be back on the 8th of July. I think we're doing an airline flight. There will be a notification at some point, so do subscribe and check notifications on the show channel, and you'll get notified of our next flight, which should be getting posted in the next few days or so by our producer Nick. Apart from that, wish you guys all the best. It's called The Wandering Chef, right? Bryce, post some links in our Discord server for you if you wouldn't mind, mate. Big thank you to everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Dan, you have a fantastic day as well. Wish you all the best, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's been a really good flight playing with you.
Absolutely. Really good. Great company. Great team. All of you are definitely have a lot to do with that. Wish you all the best. Take care, folks.